Welcome to another episode of Titan PI TV. We're looking at the inside workings of a live operational investigation agency, that being here, Titan in Derby. Today, this short episode is going to be looking around employment law and how a PI can help an employment law solicitor. So there are 5 areas I've highlighted today, which are the most common areas which we aid an employment law solicitor with. The first one is employee investigations. Background checks is the second. GPS vehicle tracking, lie detector tests, physical penetration testing, and bug sweep. So those are the 6 areas we're going to look at. So let's look at the first initially. So that is employment investigations. So it might be, for example, that a company has a culture of absenteeism. It's eating away at a business like cancer, and it does. So if you can imagine a number of employees, maybe blue-collar workers within an industry or a company, one person sees another person constantly going on the sick and getting away with it. That person will start to think, if they can get away with it, I can get away with it. Then someone sees this person and then they try and get away with it. And slowly but surely you have this cancer in your company, which effectively halts production or at least minimises production and efficiency. So it might be a company goes to an employment law solicitor and wants to make an example of someone in regard to absenteeism. They may not have triggered all of the HR profile parameters, etc., alarm bells which go off to say this person is unacceptably sick. It might just be they do the 2 weeks, then they come back to work, they work the amount of time they have to, and then go another 2 weeks so they don't trigger the systems off. So what we would do in this scenario, we would deploy a minimum of 2 surveillance operatives to watch, follow, monitor and record covertly that employee whilst he's sick, or she. It might be just one day, so we would arrange the time with the client, whether that's the solicitor or the company. So we would be looking at roughly 8 hours following that person. Everything would be captured that person does that is pertinent. So it might be that they are moonlighting or working somewhere else. It might be that a landscape in their garden. However, they've got a bad back or they're off work with a bad back. It could be a number of reasons, but all of this would be documented and evidenced. Post-deployment, we would then obviously, during the deployment, we would keep the client updated if they wish to be. Post-deployment, we'll do a report. That report will be with our client, whether that be the solicitor or the corporate client, the business, within 24 hours of the termination of the deployment. That will include images taken from the surveillance footage. Everything will be documented chronologically, and we will also give you the unedited surveillance footage, which is all time date stamped and is evidential. That is fully admissible in a tribunal, a civil court or a criminal court. So that's employment investigations. The next is background checks. One of our clients has had, it's a printing company, and it had on a night shift a printer sabotaged by an employee, an unruly employee who had an axe to grind with the company because one of his mates had been sacked. So each time that company now employs somebody, they want a full background report done on that person. Have they got any criminal convictions, or a nationwide core search to see if they've got any criminal convictions? Are they related to anyone on the blacklist who's recently been sacked or within the last 12 months? Are they who they say they are? Is it their real name? And do they live where they live? Background checks are completely bespoke, but to a company, they can be very, very important. GPS vehicle tracking. We've had many a case where it's believed that fraudulent expenses are going in, mileage being claimed where it hasn't been done. So in these scenarios, it might be that if they're not using a company car, or even if they are using a company car, but it's not tracked, we can track that car for the company and show exactly where that vehicle is going. It will log all the mileage. We will then be able to tell you whether that claim is fraudulent. We've had delivery drivers before which have been knocking off and doing all sorts in the day other than delivery driving. The tracker will expose this. So GPS vehicle tracking is a very important way to find out what's happening. Lie detector tests. Lie detector tests in a corporate environment, we can test up to potentially 7 subjects in a day. So it might be that you've had an internal theft or a theft which you think has come from the inside. If you've got a number of suspects, we can do, like I say, up to 7 in one day, test them. It takes 30 minutes per test. it is 92 to 96% accurate. And we can whiz through those subjects, or if there's more, we can do it over a number of days. It might be you just have one or two. The lie detect or truth validation is 92 to 96% accurate and will give you real results. Another area is physical penetration testing. This is an area where a corporate body may have had a break-in, may have had a burglary, may have had a theft. They may have had nothing. However, they may just want to test their security processes. So they would instruct us to try and ambush or infiltrate their business. We would then leave red flags if we're able to get into the business, red flags of where we've been able to get without being compromised. And we would then give a full written report in regards to where we've been able to go, why we've been able to get there, and how you would stop us. So it's great for companies which are heavily involved with GDPR, a nice ticky box for ICO, the Information Commissioner's Office. And the final area I wanted to speak about was bug sweeps, or TSCM, which is Technical Surveillance Countermeasures, which is its professional word. So we work for a number of companies on a regular basis, usually 6 monthly. These are areas that may work in aerospace, finance and banking, sensitive areas. They will request us to perform a professional bug sweep throughout their offices in key areas. We're not talking areas where there are just 1 or 2 terminals or a number of terminals. We're talking about areas where key decisions are made by senior management. So it might be a boardroom, the MD's room, directors' offices, etc. We can get through these in an evening out of hours when no one's around. So it's covert, people don't know we're there, and we're able to tell you with 100% satisfaction whether there are any foreign devices, whether that be audio or video footage within your building. If they are there, there's further investigations we can do, but we would certainly remove them for you, photograph them in position, and do you a full comprehensive report. That is how we can help employment law solicitors. Thanks for listening. That's another episode of Titan PI TV. I'm Simon Henson, your host and Managing Director of Titan Private Investigation. Till next time.